Hello. If you've ever wondered why some people can fall asleep on a plane, on the floor in loud rooms, while you can't even sleep in your own bed sometimes, this video is for you because it's not about luck or genetics or being a light sleeper. It's about what your brain believes about safety and how to retrain it to rest anywhere. So if you're tired of chasing perfect conditions to fall asleep, stay with me. Tell me where in the world you're watching from. And let's begin. You've seen it before. A crowded airport, fluorescent lights flickering overhead, luggage wheels grinding on tile, babies crying in the distance, gate announcements echoing through the speakers, and right there, next to a vending machine, someone is asleep. Deeply asleep. Like nothing exists outside their dream, or maybe it's on a bus. Their head tilts against the glass, the road humming beneath them, traffic noise constant, strangers just inches away. And still, eyes closed, breathing steady, completely gone. You wonder, how is that even possible? You toss and turn in your own bed, noise-canceling headphones, blackout curtains, sleep mask, white noise machine, lavender mist on the pillow, and still, your brain resists. Still, you lie there watching the ceiling, negotiating with your own thoughts. So how can someone sleep peacefully in a cramped airplane seat? Their knees in their chest, upright, mid-flight turbulence and all, while you can't seem to fall asleep in silence? It doesn't feel fair. It feels like some kind of genetic lottery. As if some people are just born with a superpower, the power to sleep through anything, anywhere, anytime. And the rest of us, stuck with the curse of light sleeper wired brains, the cruel irony of being exhausted but wide awake. But what if I told you it's not about genetics? What if this power isn't random? What if the ability to sleep anywhere is not luck, but something else entirely, not a gift, but a signal? Because here's what most people never think about. Your ability to fall asleep has less to do with where you are, and more to do with what your brain believes about where you are. Let that sink in for a second. It's not the softness of the mattress. It's not the number of pillows. It's not even the noise or the light or the temperature. It's safety. That's the secret. People who can sleep anywhere don't have perfect environments. They have a nervous system that's learned how to relax on command. Their body knows how to switch from alert to rest, regardless of what's happening around them. But for others, maybe for you, that switch is broken, or at least it's glitchy. The world feels unpredictable. Your body stays on guard. Your brain can't let go. And no amount of melatonin or breathing techniques can override that if your system doesn't feel safe. This video is about to change everything you thought you knew about sleep, because this is not about beds and blackout curtains. This is about the hidden wiring in your brain, the quiet pathways that decide whether you rest or resist. And once you understand what really makes someone fall asleep in a moving car, a plastic chair, or a hospital waiting room, you'll realize it's not about the place. It's about the pattern. And the good news: patterns can be changed. Let's begin. You've probably said it before. I just can't sleep anywhere. And you didn't mean it as a joke. You meant it as a quiet truth. A frustration you've carried for years. You've tried on trips, in hotels, at a friend's house. On your own couch, you've tried to just relax. You've tried to close your eyes and breathe. You've tried the apps, the techniques, the sprays, the sounds. And yet nothing. Your body won't cooperate. Your thoughts won't quiet down. Your skin feels hyper-aware of the sheets. Every creak, every flicker of light, every passing noise, it all feels magnified. It's like your brain is sitting at the edge of its seat, even when your body is lying down. The moment you try to sleep somewhere new, it's like your nervous system says, "Nope, not here, not now." Meanwhile, someone next to you is already snoring, legs crossed, mouth slightly open, head tilted back without a care in the world, cold in seconds. And you think, what's wrong with me? Maybe you've convinced yourself you're just a light sleeper. Maybe you've blamed your overactive mind, your childhood habits, your personality, your stress levels. Maybe you've even joked that you need to bring your whole bed with you to fall asleep anywhere else. But deep down, there's a sense of defeat, a belief that you'll never be able to sleep like those people. Maybe your body doesn't know how to let go. But what if I told you that your struggle isn't about weakness? It's about wiring. What if your brain has been conditioned, not by choice, but by experience, to associate unfamiliar places with alertness?
Ouch.
What if your body has never really learned how to feel safe internally, so it keeps depending on external cues? The moment those cues are different walls, different sounds, different air, the whole system tends. And here's the hardest part. No one taught you otherwise. No one ever explained that sleep isn't just about darkness and silence. It's about safety. It's about trust, not with the world, with yourself. You're not broken. You're not bad at sleep. You're not dramatic or too sensitive or just the kind of person who needs everything perfect. You're just carrying a nervous system that's learned to be vigilant. And that vigilance, it's not your fault. It's not a failure. Survival. Your body learned to protect you. It just never learned when to stop. This video is not about tips and hacks. It's about rewiring. We're going to talk about why some people fall asleep anywhere, and why that has less to do with luck and more to do with the way their brain interprets threat versus safety. We're going to look at the neuroscience behind comfort, the patterns your mind follows when it feels at home, and how you can begin to teach your body to access those same patterns, even in places that don't feel like home. And by the end of this video, you're not just going to understand what's happening inside you. You're going to feel something shift, because once you see sleep through the lens of internal permission instead of external perfection, everything starts to change. This is a story about your nervous system, about why it holds on, and how to help it let go. If you've ever felt stuck in your own body, tired, but unable to drop into rest, this is for you. And if you've ever envied those people who can sleep in airports, on buses, in waiting rooms, on hardwood floors, this is where we reveal their secret. It's not about being carefree, it's about being safe on the inside. Keep watching, you're about to remember how to rest no matter where you are. Most people think sleep is about shutting down. Close your eyes, turn off the lights, lie still. That's it, right? But that's not how it works. Not really, because sleep isn't a mechanical shutdown. It's a neurological transition. Your brain's switching states from alertness to surrender, from monitoring to trusting. And here's the twist most people never hear. That switch doesn't flip just because you want it to. It flips when your brain feels safe enough to stop watching. Let's go deeper. There's a tiny part of your brain. It's called the amygdala, the center for emotional processing, especially fear and threat detection. When your environment feels uncertain, your amygdala stays active, scanning, calculating, preparing. And here's the problem. Unfamiliar places, even harmless ones, can trigger that response. Not because there's real danger, but because there's difference. And difference, to a survival-based brain, equals risk. This is called the first night effect. It's been studied in sleep labs across the world. When someone sleeps in a new place, even a nice, comfortable one, the brain becomes partially alert. But not the whole brain. It's just one hemisphere. Yes, just half of your brain stays more awake. A strange, built-in protection mechanism, like a dolphin sleeping with one eye open. It's your brain's way of saying, just in case. That's why the first night in a hotel feels shallow. Why naps on a plane don't refresh you. Why you might wake up more often, or feel like you never fully dropped in. Your body was horizontal. Your eyes were closed, but your brain wasn't fully convinced. But here's where it gets interesting. Some people don't experience this as strongly. Some people have nervous systems that trust faster. Their brains scan the environment, and in the absence of obvious threat, they send the signal, we're good. How? It often comes down to two things: conditioning and internal safety. Let's talk about conditioning first. People who grew up falling asleep in the back seat, on the couch, on the floor during family gatherings, they trained their bodies from early on to associate movement, sound, and presence with relaxation. Their nervous systems learned that they could fall asleep without everything being perfect. But the world doesn't have to go silent for the body to let go. Over time, this became a pattern. Familiar, comfortable, automatic. Now let's talk about internal safety, This one is deeper. Some people have learned through emotion, through repetition, through trauma recovery, through nervous system regulation, how to self-soothe. Their ability to fall asleep anywhere isn't about where they are. It's about how safe they feel within themselves. Their brain doesn't rely on external signals to know it's okay to rest. It relies on internal ones. Breath, muscle tone, heart rate, familiar internal rhythms. So even when the room is unfamiliar, it's the inner world and that becomes the anchor. It's like carrying your safe space inside your own body. And here's the kicker, something anyone can learn. Yes, even if you're hypervigilant. Even if you've always struggled. Even if your brain feels like it has a sleep switch. It's rusted over. Because this ability is not magic. It's neuroplasticity. The brain's capacity to change, to rewire, to learn new patterns of response. And just like your brain once learned to stay alert in new places, it can learn to let go. 2, you just need to teach it. Gently, consistently, with patience and presence. And it starts with this. Awareness. Falling asleep is not about shutting out the world. It's about tuning in to something safer than the world yourself. So, when you see someone sleeping in an airport terminal or dozing off in a park bench or passed out in a subway car, remember, it's not just about where they are, it's about what their brain has learned to believe. We're safe now. You can rest. That's not just sleep. That's trust, emotion. And it's time you started building that trust for yourself. Because the more your brain believes it's okay to sleep, the more it will anywhere. Let's rewind your relationship with sleep. Not just last night, but all the nights before it. The ones where you stared at the ceiling, the ones where your breath stayed shallow, the ones where your body was tired but your mind refused to settle. The ones where you woke up 20 times for no reason. The ones where you didn't feel rested, even after hours in bed. And then, the rare exceptions. The nights when you fell asleep on the couch, or during a long car ride, or in a place that didn't make sense, but your body surrendered anyway. Strange, right? Because sleep isn't always logical. It doesn't follow rules. It follows patterns. And those patterns aren't just shaped by habits they're shaped by history. Let's start there. Some people grew up in chaos, not dramatic chaos, just unpredictability, noise, movement. Maybe they shared a room. Maybe their family stayed up late. Maybe they slept to the sound of the TV, or people coming in and out. Over time, their nervous system learned to rest in motion, to fall asleep not despite the noise, but with it. That conditioning runs deep. Others grew up with stillness, but also vigilance. Silence that didn't mean peace. Darkness that didn't mean safety. For them, the body learned to associate quiet with uncertainty. So even when everything seems perfect, the brain stays on alert. It learned not to trust the absence of threat, but to anticipate it. These are opposite conditions, but they teach the same lesson. Sleep isn't about comfort. It's about familiarity, and the body will always return to what feels familiar, even if it isn't ideal. Now let's talk about something you can't always see. Emotional regulation. The people who sleep anywhere. Mental health. But many of them have one thing in common: their nervous systems are flexible. They experience stress, and then they recover from it. They feel activation, then they downshift. Their bodies know how to come back to baseline. This is called vagal tone, your body's ability to switch between stress and calm. It's the difference between being stuck in hyper-alert mode and being able to let go. High vagal tone means your system knows how to exhale, and that ability is one of the strongest predictors of sleep. Resilience, because it's not the presence of stress that blocks sleep. It's the inability to come down from it. When you see someone asleep at the gate, curled up with a jacket and a backpack, it's not that they don't have stress. It's that their body knows how to release it enough to drop into rest. This is also why some people crash instantly on public transport. The hum of the engine, the rhythm of movement, it mimics something primal like being rocked. Body remembers. It feels cradled. And for people with strong internal rhythms, those external cues trigger rest. They don't need darkness. They need familiarity, repetition, predictability. But here's the most important thing. This isn't a binary. You're not either the person who sleeps anywhere or the one who can't sleep anywhere but home. You're a nervous system in motion, and motion means change. Every night you have the chance to teach your brain something new, to reshape the relationship between safety and stillness, to create internal cues that tell your body you can let go now. So, how do you start? You begin with internal anchors, a specific breath pattern, a calming phrase, a hand on your chest, a visualization that feels safe. You begin by practicing those things in your own bed, then gradually in other spaces, not to force sleep, but to teach your brain that you're still you, no matter where you are. You remove the condition, I can only sleep when everything is perfect, and replace it with, I can rest when I remember who I am. This is how people learn to sleep, anywhere, not by making the world quiet, but by quieting the world inside. That's the journey, not toward better sleep, hygiene, but toward nervous system literacy, toward self-trust. Because sleep is not a reward for doing everything right. It's a reflection of how well your body feels, held by you. And when you start to build that safety, that holding, that softness, sleep begins to follow you, not the other way around. Here's the part that flips everything you thought you knew about sleep. It's not about the bed. It's not about the silence. It's not even about the day. It's about what your brain believes is true in that exact moment. That's the real reason some people can sleep anywhere, because their body has learned the ultimate sleep skill, feeling safe, without needing everything to be safe. Let that sink in. They don't need the lights off. They don't need complete silence. They don't need a memory foam mattress or a sound machine or a blackout curtain. They've trained their nervous system to say, I'm okay. Even here, I'm okay. Even now. And that changes everything, because most people build their sleep around control, around managing the environment, around containing discomfort. But people who can sleep anywhere, they've built their sleep around resilience. They've taught their brain how to switch into parasympathetic mode, the rest and digest state, even in uncertain or imperfect conditions. That's the twist. It's not external peace that leads to sleep, it's internal permission. And most of us never learn how to give ourselves that. We're taught that rest must be earned, that conditions must be right, that comfort equals control. But what if the real superpower isn't comfort? What if it's regulation? What if the person asleep in the noisy train isn't lucky but trained? What if their body has practiced the art of surrender over and over again until it no longer waits for perfection? It just responds to presence. We said why so many of us struggle. We wait for the world to calm down before we do. We wait for the room to be still before we soften. We wait for the outside to feel quiet, so the inside can too. But sleep doesn't wait. It doesn't follow control. It follows rhythm. And when your rhythm is internal, you can fall asleep anywhere, because you're no longer depending on the world to feel, okay? You've taught your nervous system that you are the world, that your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, your memories, your grounding are enough. And that moment, the one where you no longer look outside to rest, is the moment your sleep begins to follow you. So here's the shift. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming someone your body can trust, not someone who forces sleep, someone who receives it, not someone who needs silence, someone who creates stillness from the inside out. And once you feel that, once your nervous system realizes it can rest anywhere, even if the room is bright, even if the chair is stiff, even if the world is spinning, that's the beginning of freedom. Because now, sleep is no longer something you chase. It's something you carry inside you, always. Let's bring this down from theory into your body, because now you know. Sleeping anywhere isn't about luck. It's not some genetic gift or childhood blessing. It's a nervous system pattern, and patterns can be rewritten. But this isn't about hacks or routines you can't keep up with. This is about building a new kind of safety, one that lives inside you, not around you. So let's start there. 1. Anchor your breath wherever you are. The fastest way to tell you're nervous system you're safe is through your breath, not deep breathing, not forced breathing, just gentle, patterned breathing. Try this. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold gently for 2. Exhale through your mouth for 6. Do this for just 90 seconds, especially when you're trying to rest in a new place on a plane, on a couch, in someone else's house. Your brain will start associating this rhythm with calm, with release, sleep. It becomes your internal lullaby, too. Create a sensory anchor. We often think sleep is about turning off the senses, but actually, it's about sending the right signals through them. Find one simple sensory cue that tells your brain we're safe. A scent, a soft texture, a gentle piece of music or white noise. And here's the trick. Use the same one every night in your normal environment and bring it with you wherever you go. It's not about the scent or the sound itself. It's about the association you build with it. Over time, your brain won't care where you are. It will hear the sound or smell the scent or feel the texture and begin to relax. Not because it's logical, but because it's learned. 3. Train in calm environments before you need it. This is the part most people skip. You don't wait for turbulence to learn how to breathe. You practice in calm weather. Same with sleep. Try lying down in your living room during the day. No blankets, no perfect silence. Just rest. Let your body learn to relax without requirements. You're not trying to fall asleep. You're teaching your nervous system that rest can happen anywhere. This is how people train their system to sleep on planes, in cars, on the floor. Not by accident, but by exposure, by repetition, by normalizing rest outside of the bedroom. 4. Don't chase perfect conditions. Chase internal predictability. If your bedtime routine changes every day, your brain never knows what to expect. Instead, give your body a consistent message. This is the rhythm. We follow it, no matter where we are. Go to bed around the same time, even while traveling. Use the same wind-down cues. Keep your light exposure consistent, morning light especially. And when you wake up, don't scroll, don't overstimulate. Just breathe, hydrate, move gently. This rhythm becomes your compass, and once your brain learns the rhythm, it follows it anywhere. 5. Visual safety is just as real. Close your eyes and imagine a place that feels calm. Not necessarily a memory, maybe just a place you create in your mind, a warm forest, a quiet room, childhood bedroom. The key is to build familiarity with it. Visualize it every night before sleep soon. Your brain will begin to respond to the visualization as if it were real, and that mental anchor becomes your portable safety. Zone 1, you can access wherever you are. 6. Reframe. The belief one of the most powerful ways to shift your sleep is to change the story you're telling yourself. Instead of, I can't sleep unless I'm in my bed, say, my body can learn to rest anywhere. I give it permission. Instead of, I always sleep badly the first night, say, my brain is learning a new rhythm, and that takes time. You're not lying to yourself. You're retraining yourself. Belief isn't magic, it's muscle memory. 7. Give yourself small wins. Don't try to become a sleep anywhere expert overnight. Start small. Take a short nap on your couch instead of the bed. Close your eyes on a train ride, even if just for 5 minutes. Practice relaxing your body while sitting in a chair, not lying down. Every time you rest somewhere new, even just a little, you're building evidence. My body can handle this. And the more evidence you have, the less resistance you'll feel. Because here's the truth most people miss. Sleep doesn't start in your bed. It starts in your belief system. And if you start telling your nervous system a new story, not with words, but with actions, repetition, and kindness, it will begin to believe you. It will begin to follow your lead. You're not fragile. You're not bad at sleep. You're just used to patterns that no longer serve you. And starting tonight, you can build new ones. Not perfectly, not quickly, but steadily, softly from the inside out. What if you stopped trying to make the world quiet and started teaching your body to rest, even when it's not? What if sleep wasn't something that happens when everything is finally perfect, but something you carry inside you wherever you go? You don't have to wait for silence. You don't have to wait for home. You don't have to wait for the right moment. The perfect conditions, the softest bed, you can begin now, because your body is listening to the rhythm. You give it to the safety you build, to the way you breathe. And soften, and stay present even when the lights are on and the world keeps spinning. You're not broken. You've just been trained to believe that rest lives outside you, but it never did. It's always been here, in your breath, in your nervous system, in the tiny, sacred choice to let go even just a little, even when it's hard. That's what people who sleep anywhere have learned. Not how to find comfort, but how to create it internally, and now you know too. So the next time you find yourself in a loud hotel room, or on a long bus ride, or curled up on a couch in a place you've never been, remember this. You don't need the room to be quiet. You just need your body to remember its rhythm, and you're already learning how to do that tonight. When you close your eyes, try one small thing. Tell yourself gently, without pressure, I don't have to fall asleep. I just have to feel safe. And let that be enough. Sleep will follow. Because when your body feels safe enough to rest, it will anywhere. You don't need silence to sleep. You don't need a perfect bed. You just need to rebuild trust between your body and your mind. And now, you know where to begin. If this video made something click for you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever struggled to sleep outside your home? Maybe you're one of those people who can sleep anywhere. Share your experience. And if you're on this journey of healing your sleep, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more I want to show you. Take a deep breath. You're already closer than you think.